Hey guys and gals, welcome back to the shop. Running open camera, hopefully no audio problems. Last time I did it I had the mic over there. Audio was way too low. Let's see what's going to happen this time. For what it's worth, I originally, well, for those who don't have a DRO on their mill, this will interest you. I originally started with the eye gauge setup. It was relatively inexpensive. I could easily cut it and customize it and get it to fit. As long as you're using their battery readout heads, they were fine. Somebody recommended that I look at the TouchDRO, which is fantastic, but it runs off of the wall power and noise. I mean, it just kept losing position. I got really tired of it. Tired of the accuracy problems. You know, if you read the data sheet on it, they're only good to like 2 thou over a few inches. So I went and invested in the glass scales, and Yuri sent me one of his new units. It's fantastic. Thank you, Yuri. He sells it. It's $159, I think. Fantastic unit. I'm also running the latest beta TouchDRO, which is a whole different world, so I got to figure that one out and write a manual, user manual. But I've seen a lot of videos on people playing with glass scales, cutting them. I know without a doubt, 100%, 110%, that they're doing a lot of stuff off camera trying to figure out what they did wrong. I'm going to show you every inch and every detail on cutting the scale, all of it. So at the end I might show a little bit of the new TouchDRO. So I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you next time. I'm just kidding. The mill eye gauging was the cheapest, best thing out there. But evidently the position information is held inside the module that slides around. And if there's any kind of power noise at all, it just completely loses position. And I'm getting real tired of it. Bought this guy a long time ago, and I just now bought the rest of it for the mill. They're going to change it over, but I was always, you know, these things are huge. But I will show how to cut the glass scales and how to resize this thing. Because you got to cut this. It was 10 miles long. I think I took 8 feet off of this. Resolder all that. How to disassemble it and put it back together. But these things are giant. So I'm thinking about machining my own end pieces to shrink them down. But I don't know. So let's see what the rest of it is. This was X-axis that I had bought. And size to fit. So this must be Z and this is Y here. Wow. eBay, they're pretty good price. I think they were like $67 or something for each one. And pretty fast delivery too. It was like 3 days and it's here. Forgot where it was coming from. Jeez, they really taped it to death. I hate people with packaging like this. Alright, did I get it separated? No. Sort of getting separated. Something held it. Alright, well, I'll open up the big one then. This one's going to be fun to cut, let me tell you. Because I need it to be the exact correct size to go in the existing mounting hole that I have. Why is that not opening? Alright, please. Tape, man, people get out of control. Yeah, they do package it nicely, as you can see. I opened up the bottom. Shoot, this is the bottom of the package. Oh well, so be it. I'm gonna have to flip it over. That, take that out, goes away. One giant. I don't know what that's for. They do supply all the pinout information and stuff. And I do have the TouchDRO. Thank you, Yuri, for sending that to me complimentary. But look at this cord. Look at this. I mean, come on. Really? So there it is, beautiful, packaged. ToAuto is the company. They give you a lot of shields and stuff, nuts floating around in here from something. That's not a good sign. Oh, you always junk on the floor. Yeah, there's a screw floating around. What did this? Oh, I bet you it's this. Yep, came out of this, came apart. Okay, no big. No big. At least I had the parts. Ooh, I'm on the microphone. So that all has to get cut. I'm going to have a ton of spare stuff here. I'll tell you that. Okay, the other one, probably. I could have put this in that box. I probably will. How do you know which is up? That's up, according to this picture. So I don't open it upside down again. There. This one's a little bit crushed. But it's the bottom again. I don't know. That one I opened it up. This was on the bottom. But 2 plates. Trash. Plates. Styrofoam again. Styrofoam. Whatever instructions that is. More foam. 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 But I mean, they do package it well. And if I can get it out. Foam. And there's the scale for Y. Boy, does that look long. But no, according to my calculations, that should be correct. Alright, well, shoot. So it'll be a while before I release a video on cutting this. This is just nuts. The nice thing too, I'll show in the video, is that you can just cut it and it springs back to get to the wires, and then it goes forward again to go into the shell. I'm just gonna tell you all the steps that you need to do to cut one of the glass scales. And there's a lot of steps that I know people don't do in these other videos, and I know they're spending an hour off camera trying to figure out how to get it back together. So I highly advise you write down each one of these steps. First thing is you're going to have to undo the end piece, and mine has Phillips screws. They're very long-winded. They're Phillips, and if you don't have a good screwdriver, some of them come out easy. Some of them are very hard because they're threaded into the end of this aluminum piece. So if you don't have a good screwdriver, I use this one. You risk ripping up, messing up the head, and then you'll never get it out. So you'd have to drill and a big pain. So that's the first thing. You have to remove this guy. Second is you're going to remove this. Yeah, you can see it on camera. There is a big spring thing here. Also, the orientation of this. Mine has these 2 little things here that go to the top for the insulation. The insulation goes in between it. So that's one. Second, this guy slides out. Take it out on the side with the wire. This thing was on here this way, and I slid it off. Do not take it off in the opposite direction. You need to take it off where the wire is. There is a spring thing here. It's riding on a bunch of ball bearings. Pay attention as you slowly pull it out where all the ball bearings are riding. Some of them, this back one here, actually rides on the glass. So once you have that out, be very careful with it. Set it to the side. Now you can pull these out. Some of them just pull right out this particular scale. They just came right out. Some of them, since you're going to cut it, you don't care about the end. Take a needle nose and you can just rip them straight up and they'll come out. There is, pay attention before you do it, which slot they're in. And you may want to pay attention to which one was on this side and which one was on this side. Because if you put the one that was on this side, it's going to point down, not up. Both of them need to be pointing up to keep the chips out of the scale. Next, you're going to remove the glass scale. They're held in with these little green bumpers, and they're very hard to get out. I used this tool because I can use the heel down in there to pry it up. I just a little bit at a time, and it comes out. You do not want to scratch the top of this scale. The bottom is nothing. The reader reads up here on this black stripe. Once you get all of them out, then you can wear a pair of gloves because you do not want fingerprints on this. You can easily lift it out. You'll see it's probably filthy dirty and somebody else's fingerprints all over it. So have a microfiber or something to put it on. Pay close attention to its orientation. Mine came out with the black stripe. The black stripe is on one side of the glass, the other side is clear. If you put it in backwards, you will not have readings. It will not detect anything, and you'll have zeros on your DRO. So you have to pay attention to which side's which. I put a little black mark on here, and I put a black mark inside here to tell me that that goes to this face. Or if you, all right. Once you have it out, I'll show a clip on how to cut it with a diamond wheel. It's really easy. This I just put in horizontal saw to cut it. Pay attention, part of this sticks out. So you don't want to cut the glass the length of this piece, the aluminum. You want to cut it slightly shorter here and shorter here to accommodate for that. On this scale, they cut it way shorter. I mean, how do you do it? The scale was like right back here. I mean, way short, both ends. So I'll be cutting it better than that. Once you have the scale cut, you can put it back in. Pay attention, write that down, where the scale, which face it goes on before you take it out. There is one side that's a tall vertical piece of aluminum. The other side is lower. It goes against the tall face, at least on my scale. I'm sure everybody else's, but so now you need to drop it back in there against the tall face. These guys I cut in half with a nice pair of dikes because it's just too much to get in there. So I just drop them in there, and I use a flat blade. I don't have one right here. I use a flat blade, careful again not to scratch that, and you just work them in. I put one on each end. Ensure, looking at the end, that the glass is all the way down. This end, all the way down. Then, once you got the end ones in, middle, and then a couple more, and it's fine. So now you've got your scale cut, this is cut, everything's in there. You have to put that back in. You paid attention as you took it out, so you know where these big feet go. You know this ball goes in this little divot hole there. You slide it back in, and all of a sudden it's going to just stop. And that's because this last ball bearing rides on the glass, and it's hitting the end of the glass and dead stop. So you have to look in there and lift it slightly, and then you can push it all the way in. So that's pretty much it. Then you just put the end pieces back on, screw it together. You can go plug it in, verify that the thing still works, and it should. If it's zeros, you put that in backwards. So write it down, all these notes, because I know I did it too. I go and took the scale out on the previous one, didn't realize it had an orientation. I put it in backwards. Took me like 2-3 hours to figure out what was wrong. I thought I burnt this out, thought I had wrong wiring. Then I realized, oh, flip the glass around, worked perfect. So I hope this helps somebody, because I know these are items that nobody talks about or shows in their videos. Cutting a glass scale, very easy. This will be my third one. So I just need to mark it. I've got this cut for the y-axis to length, and you just have to remember to account for this thing poking in. So we put this here, get the scale out. That's this end, right? Yep, there's my mark. So probably should set this on top of a microfiber for what it's worth. Alright, so that's hitting it, and I want it a little bit shorter than that, probably here. Love these pens. Yeah, that's... Oh, no, wait a minute, I did that wrong. I wasn't all the way down on the ground, so I gotta cut it quite a bit shorter than that. And remember, they had this cut really short. Diamond wheel, and it just snaps. It's easy to do. I want to come in like here. There it is, snap, done. Hopefully that's short enough, right? Should be. And then just putting it in the right, yep, orientation. This works. Wow, that's hitting it. That is just touching it. I'm going to shave off a teeny bit more here. Wow, huh? There. Beautiful, beautiful, and beautiful piece of glass for the trash can. So that's it. And just remember too, when you put it back in, that you have it not turned around so that it works. Alright, so I'm going to clean this thing up, because there are some marks on it. And then this way. There it is. Drop it. Get that out of here now. And straighten this up. So here's the y-axis ready to go. That is on, yeah, that's on this side. So this is the right, and I gotta put it into the taller face, and yeah, that's just short enough. That shouldn't hit correct good gap. Okay, so that's it, folks. I'm just gonna put these little guys back in place. Remember, I cut them in half. Alright, I know I did the x-axis off camera months and months ago, cutting the scale and sizing it. It's on there, and there's a good chance to actually clean up the mill here. The new guy is right down there with X plugged into it, and it sure seems to be on the money and solid. I started at 0, 50 thou, 100 thou, 150, 200, 250, and it's been on the money here. Kind of a rinky-dink setup. Hard to do too with a mirror underneath there to make sure it's landing right on the tick mark for the dial indicator. But thank God. Okay, next is the z-axis. And I've got a slight problem because it's hitting the top, and that's like 77 thousandths thick, so I don't want to shim the bottom, but I got to figure out what to do now. Check this out. Z has always been a problem, so everything lined right up and got this scale perfectly straight. Weird way to do this. Existent holes, because I didn't want to have to drill and tap another hole. So I've got dial indicator here. You can kind of see it's right on. I went to 200 thou, and it's right on. I went to 10, 20, 50, 100, 150, and 200. So I've got this one nailed now, just the y-axis, which is a real tough one. This cable isn't that difficult. It turns out this stuff is really springy, so I just took a pair of snippers, cut it, and pulled it back, and then I could trim it back even further. So no, unless you have a really good soldering session, I would not attempt to do this. Alright, where's the solder? Flux core solder? Yeah, there we are. So I'm going to be winding up using the magnifying glass here, so you won't be able to see. And I'll be doing this whole thing off camera, sorry. Sorry I didn't show doing this on camera because I had to have the magnifying glass in here. You guys wouldn't be able to see, so I cut probably 6 feet off the length of this thing that wasn't needed. And in case a lot of you guys don't realize it, these little screw things here go on the outside, because I can see somebody taking this apart and everything falls on the bench and they go, where did they go? So you have to put them in before you can close the shell up, because they get locked in place. And the shield that's on this cable gets soldered to the case here on the inside, and it takes a lot of heat to do that. In this particular situation, it doesn't matter because the TouchDRO doesn't have any ground to the case here, or whatever you want, the shell. And I'm not sure if he supplies this with what you buy online, but you can easily just, small screwdriver, lift the plastic finger up and pull. You don't care about destroying the plastic, just pull the contacts out and then push them into an 4x2, which is 8 pins in the correct order. So now it's really clean. And I had cut back, again, I think I said before or showed, cut back the wires that aren't necessary. So this will make a nice clean installation now. Did he supply hardware for these connectors? He must have. Yeah, he did. So you get little standoffs here that are going to screw into the case someplace. I haven't even looked at this case yet to see how it works. Where does it go? Oh, it's taped shut, so forget that for now. There must be some place that it screws into in the case, the studs. And then you can tighten the screws down, but this thing fits so tight, I don't think I'm going to even, well, I'll probably do it anyway, but boy, that is a tight connection. I didn't melt anything, right? No. Everything looks good in there. Yeah, I didn't melt the thing. So these things can take a lot of heat. They're designed to take the heat when you have solder cups for the wire connections, but does it fit easier in this one? No, just as tight. Wow, good connections though. Yeah, pretty good connectors. That goes all the way in. Try it again on this one. So eventually here I got to fire it all back up again and make sure every single thing works. Yeah, it doesn't really go. Yeah, it goes all the way in. Gee. All right. So that's it for now, guys. All right. Yeah. Gotta manually do everything, huh? Okay. Alright, I know I'm pretty far away. I'm zoomed in. Luckily, all the clips came to under 30 minutes, so I have time to do this. Everybody's live right now. As you can see, this is the beta, so this is the new version, and he's got the zeros right here. Used to be when you'd have to hit the digit, then you could zero the thing out. But they've cleaned it up, so this is really nice. I have the 5 micrometer scale, so I should be good to 2/10. I'm only showing thousands. There's tons more. I've got a lot of them shut down. There's like 4 more down here. But yeah, you've got inch, millimeters, everything here. RPMs, yeah, I've got the tack all connected up. Still need to do some cleanup here, wires, and this guy's leaning and stuff, so I haven't even run these screws in yet. Whole circle function, I mean, a lot of this stuff is really easy to do. Circle rate, well, you just, it's all nice and touch. Radius, say 0.5, next. And number of holes, I want 5 holes, next. I don't care about the angles and stuff like that. Done. And create the circle. All the pieces are here. You can go to your full work screen here, up in the top, right? Come on. It's hard to hit these buttons. There it is. And no holes shown. Nice. Oh, I think you have to hit one? No. Okay, so I don't know. Things I've got to figure out. I did that before and all the holes are here. Oh, because I didn't zero it out. That's why. So the holes are way off the screen. You gotta zero it out before you do this. Come on. I need to move these. These are my emergency clips so this thing doesn't fall. Move him over. There. Right? There. Yeah, see? Way off. Alright. Whatever. And so I can go in here. Come on. There. And yeah, clear everything out. Oh, that was because I had one highlighted. So workspace is cleared out. Z was off. 0. Everybody. All right, I just wanted to show that, a little bit of it. I mean, it's great. I love the TouchDRO, hands down.